Well, first she lost her job as the chair of the Democratic National Committee. Then she lost the convention gavel. The question now, could ousted DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz lose her seat in Congress? After the worst 2 weeks of her political life, arguably, the Florida congresswoman is now facing an increasingly tough primary battle. Internal polling from her Democratic challenger, Tim Canova, shows Wasserman Schultz leading, but by just 8 points. Canova's camp says that's within striking distance. The relatively unknown Canova says he saw a fundraising boom in the days following former DNC chair's exit from her post, telling the AP he raised about $100,000 in just 72 hours. Canova, who has been endorsed by Bernie Sanders, says he is the true progressive pick in the race. Today is the last day for voters in that district to register as Democrats if they want to vote in the August 30th primary. Joining me now is Tim Canova, the law professor and candidate who wants to unseat Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Thanks so much for joining me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Nice to be with you.
So let's look at the bigger picture. Debbie Wasserman Schultz still leading in that poll that you have. We know she has more money, more name recognition. She is favored to win, but she also has high unfavorable numbers at this point in time. The question, though, you don't have a whole lot of time. Is it too late for you to come back in this race?
No, not at all. We've been gaining a lot of ground in the last few weeks. And, of course, the WikiLeaks revelations and her fall from the DNC has really undermined her credibility and her favorability ratings in the district. So we're doing fine. We're very well positioned. We've got a great field operation. And to tell you the truth, we've got all the issues breaking our way. She's made a mess of things in a lot of ways here in the district. She's neglected her constituents for a long time. And a lot of these votes that she's taken have come back to haunt her already. She's been taking a lot of money from special interests, and these special interests are raising concerns among voters in the district. In particular, her ties to Big Sugar, at a time when the big sugar companies have contributed to an environmental disaster with the blue-green algae tide. Something like 70% of voters have doubts about her because of her ties to Big Sugar. And she's got ties to the payday lending industry. It's a big issue here in Florida, where these predatory loans are trapping a lot of folks in a cycle of debt. She's neglected senior citizens on Social Security expansion.
Mr. Canova, let me ask you about one of your challenges, which is name recognition. How are you and you're appearing on shows like this, but in addition to that, what is your strategy for getting out there and introducing yourself to voters when you don't have a whole lot of time?
Well, I'll tell you, we've raised more than $2.5 million, and we're spending it in a number of ways. We've got 4 field offices, so we've got a lot of canvassers knocking on doors. Since I have not been calling for dialing for dollars the way most candidates do, I've been raising money online. It frees me up to get around the district and meet with folks. And then, of course, we're spending money on direct mail, on TV commercials, on radio ads. So our name recognition is rising pretty rapidly, actually, and I feel good about that.
Your district, of course, went for Hillary Clinton in the primary. You have been endorsed by Bernie Sanders. So could that actually be a liability?
No, you know, I would have seen that side of it a few weeks ago. But at this point, you know, Bernie Sanders' favorability rating in our district is now over 80%. And voters see that this man could have blown up the party. Bernie Sanders could have really walked away from the convention and hurt the party. Instead, he did the very honorable thing, according to many. He did a very patriotic and selfless thing by endorsing Hillary Clinton, and his favorability rating is over 80%. That's more than 30% higher than Debbie Wasserman Schultz's rating in the district at this point. So, you know, one wonders whether Hillary Clinton would even want to be seen publicly with Debbie Wasserman Schultz the way Wasserman Schultz would probably drag down the ticket. And
all right, well,
and
we should be very clear. There's no indication she's never said anything to that effect. So we just want to be clear about that. But let me ask you that she doesn't want to be seen with Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
No, that's my speculation. I'll admit that. But you know, the point is that Bernie Sanders is very popular in the district right now, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz resigned in disgrace. She's not all that popular.
Is he going to be out campaigning with you? What's the plan, and what types of conversations have you had with him?
Well, we'll see. You know, he's been very busy with the convention, and that just ended. This district and Broward County are the bluest areas in the state of Florida, and they have among the lowest voter participation, among the lowest voter turnouts in the state. My campaign is actually attracting a lot of new voters. Today is the last day that independents and Republicans can register Democrat to vote in this primary. And according to the Broward County Supervisor of Elections, over the course of the last few months, thousands of independents and Republicans have re-registered Democrat just to vote for me. So we're growing the party. Hillary Clinton should be hoping we win this primary on August 30th and that we campaign hard for her. That will help her win Broward County and the state of Florida.
Well, let me just ask you one more question, because we're running out of time here. I understand that your lawyers are preparing a complaint with the FEC against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, alleging that she was unfairly using resources to try to influence this election. Do you have any hard proof of that? I know you say those leaked emails are a part of that.
Sure. The WikiLeaks emails are the big part of this case. My lawyers have been going through these emails. There's 19,000 emails, so we're not rushing to get the complaint together. It's a treasure trove, and it's very clear that Wasserman Schultz was using the DNC resources to monitor my campaign and to strategize on how to crush the campaign. That's a violation of federal law, so we are preparing a complaint to the Federal Election Commission on this. And, you know, that's just the tip of the iceberg of what she was doing at the DNC, and a lot of folks are very unhappy with her. And this is what I mean, that she'd be a drag on the ticket at this point. You know, she actually was neglecting the interests of this district for a while. She had the highest absentee rate of anyone in Florida's congressional delegation last year, except Senator Marco Rubio. So she's not been attentive to the needs and the problems of this district, and folks are looking for a change.
All right, and we should say that we did reach out to the DNC and to Debbie Wasserman Schultz for reaction to the suit that you're filing, and we haven't heard back yet. Tim Canova, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
May I just say that we have that in common. I've reached out to her to try to get her to debate me, and she just keeps dodging the question. So it'll be interesting to see whether she finally comes out onto cable as well.
All right, well, we will continue to monitor that. Tim Canova, thank you for your time this afternoon. Really appreciate it. And to discuss all of this, I want to bring in our panel.
My name is Gary Johnson. Today I reach out to you, members of all political parties. I reach out to everyone with a vote and an axe to grind. From the Tea Party, the Constitution Party, the Green and Libertarian parties. I call out to all of you, including the disaffected and disillusioned among the Republicans and Democrats. Today there's a handful of people in Washington ruining America. This small group has presided over the elimination of our Bill of Rights and the systematic dismantling of our freedoms guaranteed us under our Constitution. Our leaders have blown it. I ask you to join me in trying something that's never been attempted before in America. Let's put our parties and our differences aside one time. Be libertarian with me for one election. Together, we'll stop the spending and end the war. Together, we'll restore our industrial might and our economy. And if, in 4 years, we as a people decide we don't like peace, prosperity, and freedom, we can always vote tyranny back into office again. America is better and brighter than this. Be libertarian with me this one time, and I'll prove it to you. Live free.